Roll up, roll up. We're about to roll out. We have everything connected. We are, except the studded. So here we go. Got some steering on tonight. All right, Thursday night in the Lama Lab, 7:20 p.m. Oh, no heart rate strap, and for a world first. We'll see if we can get. Hey, there we go. Element Rival rebroadcast. Bluetooth. Away we go. Did that pair? Did that pair? Yes, it did. There we go. Rock and roll. Optical heart rate on the wrist. We'll see how it goes tonight with the Lama Lab test. I also have a Tico X on, recording to other things. Hope everybody is well. Been a busy week. Very busy week. A few videos going out. So I thought I'd jump on for a live stream. Catch up with everybody in chat. See how this rival rebroadcast goes. And spin the legs out before calling it a day. Where are we? Just pulling up the chat here. Better shifting. You win the internets. What do we win the internets on? Mate, your website wins the internets for a lot of people. Alright. Through Titans Grove, always a good one for trainers. Oh, let's check if the trainer is at 100%. Here we go. We are good, we are good. We also have a little steering icon next to me. It's been a while since I've put the studded saw on. So I have the companion app. Some ride-ons. We have the little steering icon next to my name there, indicating that when I'm chopping people, I'm meaning to. Alrighty. Being the first here, yes indeed, I do appreciate people joining in. Yelling first is a bit 2010. Hey, we're all for retro. We're all for retro. Speaking of retro, I love to look at this kit. Dirt Guy sent this over to me after, what was it? Did I do a podcast with the guys or a chat with them? Anyhow, love the Dirt kit. It looks neat. It's actually not red, it looks red, but my green screen, do you call it the chroma key? It's more orange. Anyway, all good. Off. And the hill start. Tonight I'm on the Suto from Elite on the older giant TCR that I installed. The better shifting, what was it again? You'll know more than me. You'll be across it. You are the man for DI2. It was the 9070 group set. Giros. Ash, welcome along. Good to see you, mate. Chop. The chop's on. I won't be riding a chop tonight. Good luck to anybody who is. Super hard event, that one. Handicap racing. If you want to get fit, just do handicap racing. It's so hard. So hard. In real life, the first 20 minutes of a handicap race, not good. Always very hard. Updated OBS. 0 drop frames. Using Restream to go to both Twitch and YouTube. Seems to be working well lately, so all good there. All very good. We'll do a spin down after 10 minutes. And the calibration of everything. Numbers looking okay for the moment. How's the heart rate? Oh, it's literally ticking along. There we go. I just pressed the button on top. I don't have the D-Fly, or sorry, the wireless module, so I've assigned the top hidden buttons on the 9070 to change up and down gears. A bit like SRAM. Kind of. That side up, that side down. Oh. Hey, Von knows what's up. Blue Llama. If you have a Blue Llama in chat over on YouTube, you're a channel member. You are in a special club. Oh, look, mate, I'm hoping the steering will come to smart bikes with the additional integration of the buttons. We saw on Grand Theft Auto, steering with buttons isn't too bad. Grand Theft Auto, that was a lot of fun. I've got to look back and go for a game hunting spree. I won't call it a shooting spree, a game hunting spree. For a bit of fun soon. But the physical steering, it's a bit of fun. But either way, when you're interacting with a game, even with fixed handlebars. Hey, who's this, Coco? Or Diggs or Dan, I can't recall. Let's give it a thumbs up. Oh yeah, it's Bowie. That was Bowie. Flying past there. Andrew, welcome along. Looking at the Garmin head units, what's the best option in regards to features and price? Andrew, fingers crossed I'll get my video out tomorrow on the recent upgrades to the firmwares on the Garmin units. They do a big refresh every month, and this month's refresh has gone out to 50% of all users as of right now. Hasn't rolled out completely. If it rolls out completely by tomorrow, I'll do a video on it. Now, the Garmin units, if you're looking at new, all you need to worry about is the 530, 830, and the 1030 Plus. They're almost all the same unit. And you'll see tomorrow something that really brings them even more together. The 1030 Plus came out with a couple of features the 830 and 530 didn't have. It now has. We'll talk about that tomorrow. So it comes down to form factor. Pretty much. If you want the little itty bitty size ones, then you discount. I've got all three right now. That's what I'm recording with. If you want touchscreen, obviously the 830. Non-touchscreen, 530. If you want all the bells and whistles, all of them, that's the 1030 Plus. But for day-to-day, press the button and go, and configuration and everything else, pretty much very similar. It's getting hot in here, 24.7 degrees C on my smart desk. It's about 4 degrees higher than normal. Actually, that's about 8 degrees higher than normal. Elite 2.0, can't wait to start riding. Oh, quick, get to it. Get to it. If the sun is still out, it is too. So our days get a lot longer here. In midwinter, the sun sets at around 5:15. It's now 7:30. The sun is still up. I should be out doing evening sheep patrols, but I can't bring everyone else along. Oof. Daylight savings and also where we are on the Earth. Is it 22 degree tilt? The Earth has 21 degrees. Anybody? We get more sun during summer anyway. And we are reversed. Yes, we are. Which is kind of cool for content, because in summer, for everyone else, I'm doing winter content. Like, that doesn't really mix, does it? But in winter, if people want some outside riding content, we can bring that. Hopefully a bit more outdoors. Yesterday was a bit of fun. Definitely a bit of fun with the Strava heart rate. I thought rather than just talk about it and show you guys how to, what it's all about, go out for a ride. And there's that one, if you saw the video, anybody, there's a one tailwind section I had to include. 4K, 60 frames a second, GoPro Hero 9 on the front, super stabilized, super fast down the road. There is every hill, every grind, every crap ride is worth it for that little 6 minutes or so that I had at about 55 k's an hour. So good. The wind was in my hair. I can pretend. Does anybody think it's silly that Zwift needs to apply an update after you've logged in? Yes. Yes. What's the date? What is the date? The 19th. I was going to say, it's too soon for a Zwift update, isn't it? They're usually at the start of the month or the end of the month. Yes, hardcore. I wasn't aware of the rival distribution or availability. Usually with Wahoo, as soon as something is announced, it's available. Similar to Apple. They might have held off a little bit on the watch, just to see how it went. I guess if the demand is high, they might bring it a little forward, given we are going into summer here. People are going to be outdoors. How are we looking for heart rate? Hey! That's coming from the rival on the wrist. That's looking okay. I'll leave that up. G on the keyboard if you're on Mac or Windows and you want to enable or disable that, G is the one that will get you there. Or if you press up, the little graph button right there will do the same. That works on touchscreen too. There's a Zwift tip at 300 watts. What was my PR? Oh, 147 PR. That was with the Noza S warm-up the other day. Oh, it's getting warm in here. I'm going to have to crank up this fan. 30 degrees C outside today. Always welcome to have that kind of weather to sit inside under the air conditioner with, which is what most of today was about. Okay, I use that section to warm the trainer up, that section to warm me up. Then we'll see how the heart rate comes down. So heart rate from the rival. It's doing its thing. That makes me happy. Any thoughts on a new Canyon bike? Leave the time trial bike? Which Canyon bike? Or the Canyon bike in game? There's been a few rumours floating around. Over on Slow Twitch and the like. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I can calibrate within Zwift. There is a trick to get elite trainers to calibrate within Zwift, but I will calibrate using their app just to make sure everything is absolutely lined up. That will be over Bluetooth though, so I do need to unpair. That'll be fine. Jump over to the My eTraining app. As I said, this is not a required step. You can use the Zwift in-game pairing, calibration or spin down. I'm just doing it this way. So if I use this data for a comparative test, I've used everything the right way. Okay, here we go. Target speed 30.1 kilometers per hour. Slowly does it. We're there. Stop pedaling. Whew. The new TT bike, yeah, it looks great. TT bikes. Yeah, I have a soft spot for TT bikes, being a TTer. For sure. Did you get, was the promo shot of that bike X-rayed? That was cool. Offset value, let's save that for reference. Power link is not on, we're good. Yeah, was that the one with the the X-ray shot? Because it showed the internal storage components or compartments of that bike. Controllable. Okay, so tonight, Scuto, power cadence controllable. So that's three things all in one device. I'm on Windows to Bluetooth, so if I was on a Apple TV, it still would work, no worries at all. The Element Rival, doing heart rate rebroadcast over Bluetooth. And we have the Sturzo over there in the corner. You can see that steering away with its offset. It's centered too. Good signs. What could go wrong? Power meters. I better do it. For completeness. I have to unclip. I'm on the Vector 3, so I've got to unclip those ones. Tan lines are back too. You can't see those. But tan lines are back. Though we do have to be sensible with sunscreen, especially the head. Okay, sensors. Vector 3s. Power2Max. This is all too much work. Don't follow my lead on having too many power meters and too many devices. Just get one that works and be happy with life. There's nothing like having a power meter that doesn't read correctly and you just don't know why. Hopefully some of the content that I've made gets people to a place where they're happy with one power meter. Tobin, welcome along. What are you redacting, mate? I only see the condensed chat from Restream to keep across everything. All right, we're good. We're good. We're zeroed, we're warmed up, we're paired. We've got some tunes, I've got some drink. It's 25.1 degrees in here, 44% humidity. It's disgustingly warm. Turn the fan up. And we'll get cracking into the Lama Lab session. Full Lama Lab test tonight, 10 minutes, 200, 10 minutes, 250. Yeah, my comment on cycling tips. It stirred a few feathers. It was true though, like as I said, so the summary of that was I just mentioned the equipment that we're using for esports. Now this wasn't a Zwift thing, this was an everything thing. The power meters we're using, the smart trainers we're using, there's too much variance to be hanging people for cheating on it. It's a tough debate that, as you said, I got 99 problems dealing with comments on that, ain't one of them. I want to enter the discussion for good about that. We might bring it up in the near future regarding that technology. I live and breathe this technology. I was going to say something starting with S. Every single day. I see the ins and outs. I see the ups and downs. And I don't think we're there to possibly ruin someone's career or... Okay, I'll just touch on it lightly. I think it's a mental health issue with people they need to be very, very careful about regarding hanging people with poor technology based on what they might not be doing. Big topic, not one to cover tonight. We've got work to do. It's bigger than Zwift. It's bigger than esports. It's about moving everything forward. So we don't even have these issues. Dual recording? Everything should have dual recording. You should have a primary power meter and a secondary passive power meter. If anything requires dual recording, it needs to be there. Just within whatever system. So, hit on rewards. Okay. I'll get on to it. What was I doing? Turning my fan up. Sorry to go sideways on the topic of that, but I think it's important. I do. It's not really something that I cover. I cover more product, because product doesn't talk back. I cover change logs, because they're boring as hell, but I love making them interesting. I love like updates to apps, because they don't talk back. When it comes to people, things get fuzzy. It's all good. Things are moving to a better place. It's always too slow. Like I'm always wanting more tech, more innovation, high speed. I want high speed cadence. Someone joked the other day. Again, I'm down the rabbit hole. The other day, they weren't going to buy a power meter, and it was in jest. They weren't buying a power meter until they can get left-right cadence. Left-right cadence? That is completely absurd, given the pedals are fixed. The crank is fixed. You think more on it, though. If you had high-speed power and high-speed cadence, and you knew your exact position of your pedal, very, very much like pedaling dynamics, times 1,000 resolution, left-right cadence would be a thing. Instant response from power. Instant response. Mapping your pedal stroke and where you're putting pressure on. So someone making a joke actually came up with a really interesting way this technology should move towards, I think, anyway. We've seen some pedal mapping and pedal dynamic stuff. It's not quite there yet. I don't think we really know how to use it, but I think Lama have some sensors which are really interesting. James Lamb up in Sydney is using that for bike fits now. Adam Hansen is doing bike fits with those sensors. That kind of tech, very cool. Dual-sided crank-based power meters. Now you're having a laugh. Would you put 2 spiders on each side? But yeah, dual-sided crank-based power meters. Hang on, let me get my head around that. The machine stuff. They're very close. I assume you said dual-sided spiders. Which is funny, because there's only ever one spider. Unless you're in Australia. There's spiders bloody everywhere. Yeah, Hans Zimmer, yeah. I want to see this tech move forward. Even if it moves forward in directions that it comes to a dead end and stops. And we've seen that with a number of things. But when they nail it, when they get it right, Zwift as an example. Before Zwift came along, smart trainers were just meh. And then everyone benefits. So we'll see. There's a lot of same happening at the moment. Wrong side of the road, Kevin. Yeah, it does my head in a bit. And sometimes I do like being on London on Zwift, so I'm on the my side of the road, the left side, which is the correct side, not the right direction side. All right, let's get stuck into this. We're good to go. E for erg. We're set. Bang, we've changed. Let's go. But I think where ideas come from aren't board meetings or storm sessions or anything like that. I think someone making an off-the-cuff comment, And it's like idea seeds. I'm always looking for those. The how to show the ride-ons. I think I just had a really basic grep of the log to show who was giving me a ride-on. And then Rasher DK came along and made that even better. And I think it was John or somebody forked that code and made it brilliant. All from my little tiny crappy thing. That's where I want to see more tech go. You backed the P325CS. I've got to say kudos to Majin for their response on that. I thought that video may get a takedown or a nasty reply, and I speak from experience. Even today I get nasty replies on products that I review from companies who aren't happy with their marketing department, but I'm not making the words, I'm just doing the vocals. The product speaks for itself everywhere. So Majin, they've addressed pretty much all the questions that I had about the unit. The thread tapping, the flex, what else? Well, they've said the right words, so kudos to them. That's really cool. You saw in steady state, that unit worked really well. We'll see. They're almost funded, so I was going to say I don't feel bad, but again, yeah. It's entirely, and I zoomed in on the camera. That was the important part. I zoomed in and said it's entirely up to you. Donovan, how are we, mate? How's things? Aha, see, better than IQ squared. I don't know. IQ squared did deliver something. So, if you put them on a race, side by side, IQ squared and Majin. IQ squared delivered a power meter that actually wasn't too bad. Remember, Majin haven't delivered to anyone else. Oh, there are a few YouTubers, sorry, not to discredit everyone else, but not to backers. 299 with chain rings. It's a game changer if it works. Same with the spiders. If these spiders out of China, if the market moves towards them, then the existing market's going to have to change. And even if you don't buy them, it's a good thing. These things are entering the market. Wahoo entering the watch market, even if you're not in the watch market. Competition is a good thing. Majin aren't shipping either. Not yet, anyway. So people's thoughts on the rival? I think it was one of those products, says me delaying me getting into erg mode here, that everyone was on full blast. We were all under embargo with it. And you know who's on the media list. As soon as that embargo dropped at 12 AM here, everyone just starts blasting their content out. Which is cool, everyone's got their own take. I don't run, I don't swim. If you saw my video, little Maxi running down the hallway. Keep my eyes out for Wahoo pedals, okay, I will. I've got some shoes here. You want to see the shoes before I get into erg? I can reach them. I've got these to put my speed plays on. So I'm keen to get into these. They've been sitting in the box for about 3 weeks though. They're nice and light. We'll put them on the scales too. But I'll be putting speed plays hopefully on those. I've never done speed play. Never clipped into speed play. So we'll see what they're about. Okay, let's get stuck into this. 53 on the front, mid cassette on the back. And if you watch me go through my data sets, they might be boring, but I like them. This is one of these data sets being created. So we get stuck into the Aerobond shoes. Are they the Pixie Boots ones with the little... They look really... We're good. We're in the right gear. We are recording flywheel speed, 2 power sources and the trainer, so 3 powers. We have the Vector 3s on for left, right, Power2Max NG Co. Done. We are on. What am I testing today? Everything. As much as I can, actually. So on the bike, well, first up, the Wahoo Rival which is the watch that was announced the other day, has heart rate rebroadcast. So that's now, that's what's paired as my heart rate on here. I normally don't have good luck from my wrist. We'll talk about the Garmin Esports watch in a moment. If I forget to, please remind me. And what else am I testing? I've got the Suto on as the trainer, putting it up against the Power2Max NGco and the Vector 3. It's nice to have more data sets with the Vector 3s up against the NGco. And things are looking good. The Garmin watch, if you saw my streams the other night, I have the Garmin Instinct Esport watch, which tracks esports. So I thought, Zwift is an esport, isn't it? Isn't it? Apparently not. The response from Garmin is that physically demanding esports, such as Zwift or indoor cycling, the stress meter won't work. I kept breaking the stress meter. So, unfortunately, and here's one to throw into the loop. The company who's sponsoring the UCI Indoor World E-Cycling Championships has an esports watch that doesn't work for indoor cycling. I let them know that bit too. I thought that was a bit funny. If it doesn't for that stress meter, works for heart rate, works for body battery, doesn't work for the stress level, which would be nice. If it had, well, it knows my FTP, time spent at FTP or spent above FTP, even if it worked off intensity factor, and then presents stress level based on that, that would be cool. Doesn't do it. I said, and look, at least if I'm breaking the thing after 12 minutes and it's going to 100 stress level, 100 out of 100, then at least stay on 100. At the moment it goes down to 0 and the data is recorded as rest. Welcome along, Luke Smith. Questions. There was a price tag on the watch, $379 I believe for the arrival. In Australia looking at $599 and not available in Australia until early next year. For now, that could change. Erg dropout on which trainers in particular, Lars? I'm in Erg right now, and you'll see it bang on the screen if anything happens. Welcome along, Ryan. Tin Man SPD SL power meter pedal is the holy grail, which I think only Shimano can deliver on. We'll see what they get up to. There's not a lot of room in a pedal to cram everything. The Vectors do pretty well. Morning, evening, it's evening here, 7:48 PM. We are GMT plus 11 for daylight savings. Shimano had some patents I think people were talking about. Might have been Bike Rumor the other day, posting up the patents for the power meter pedal or something. But that could mean anything. Could mean anything. Would I honestly recommend the machine? No. No, I wouldn't. I'll let people make up their own mind. If they can address the issues that I found, and any that I didn't, that others might find, then sure. One power meter to rule them all. Quark D0 seems to do well. The Power2Max NGco impresses me. The Vector 3s at the moment, surprise, surprise, are going well. And of course the Asioma Duos. And don't take my word for it on any of those. Jump onto any user owner feedback reviews, ratings over at powermetercity.com, Amazon, any of the marketing posts. If you see a post by Favero on Instagram, there's so much love. Go through the comments, you'll see it. The Magine T300 Smart Trainer is soon. That's what my Bont shoes are sitting on top of, which allowed me to grab my Bont shoes just before. So, soon. Roam all the way over the Bolt. It has onboard mapping on the Roam, so a little more smarts and colour. Oh, I can feel that temperature. It's only a few degrees, but that is making a big difference to how I'm feeling in here. That was the exact answer we were looking for. I think I named 4 power meters. So I think I've given you an okay to go buy 4 power meters. It's a good idea. All right. If you have your phone anywhere nearby, have the companion app on, you give me a ride on, you'll see it pop up there on the screen. At some point, there does become a bit of a backlog. So I'll see if I can see the backlog now. So the next one coming through in the raw logs is pairing. R pairing pack lead. There it is. That's not too bad. Bettershifting.com. Coming up. Swilson got in early. Where's Better Shifty? Come on. Canada sneaking in for the vote. There we go, bettershifty.com. So I can see the raw log before it buffers out to the on-screen stuff. I think they all eventually do come through. There was one night, I think it was about 5 minutes delay. Mate, Varia radar all day long. No question. Rarely do I tell people to go and buy something. I usually give my take and then you can go from there. The radar is just next level. For the riding that I do, and I'll say it over and over again, it's a game changer. I feel so much more comfortable on the road. It's not going to stop you from getting killed, it's not going to stop you from making bad decisions, if you're going to make bad decisions anyway. But being more informed on the road, you'll get the beep before you'll hear anything on most roads. That gives you the chance to look back, see what's coming, make a judgment call. If I'm on a skinny road, very slim road, there's a truck coming this way, there's a truck coming behind me. Usually they'll slow down, obviously, that's the law. If I've got time to get off the road, or move over and give them a wave, game changer. The truckie thinks, oh, here's another arrogant cyclist, not going to get out of my way. And I turn and acknowledge them. Change. Yep, it'll detect anything. I think it's about 10 or 12 inches wide. So if you have someone riding up behind you at speed, over 10 kilometers an hour different, it'll detect the rider. Motorcyclist. In busy traffic, it's just a beeper. It just beeps a lot. But for where I am, big long open roads. If you see my tweet the other day, I got buzzed by a learner driver, because that's how they teach young drivers over here, to be bogans from a young age. I could hear the car accelerate as it passed me. And I had that data on the Garmin. It went from 98 or 97 kilometers an hour at 140 meters distance to 108 kilometers an hour at 12 meters from me. It detects dogs. I had one chase me the other day. Never a good experience. I politely informed the owner that the dog shouldn't be chasing me. I may have used different words than that. Don't quote me. But I politely suggested that the dog may want to go back in the yard and not threaten people. Look, I don't think the data is going to be used to... If someone's going to kill you on the road, you don't have anything to worry about. That's a bit morbid, but you really don't. But I think what needs to be known is that just like the uptake of dash cams will possibly change driver behaviour. If drivers know that cyclists have cameras and speed detection devices, they know they're being monitored, their actions will probably change. If you watch any of those dash cam videos on YouTube, compilation ones, Dash Cams Australia is hilarious. If you want to learn how to speak Australian in 4 words or 4-letter words, that's the channel to watch. Dash Cams Australia. A lot of those are cars in car parks just sitting there, and the car's being crashed into, backed into, and the driver drives off. But the dash cam's got their license plate. You can't do it. You can't do that anymore, which is a good thing. So looping that back to cycling, if that learner driver knew that I had his speed, and if I did have that back and front on camera, I think I would have submitted that to the local police station and just said, make of it what you will, but it may be worth going around having a chat to whoever was supervising this learner driver to say, you know what, even in the middle of nowhere, you're going to get caught. The reactions on the channel, Blake, you can't watch them too close to bedtime. The adrenaline goes up too much. And it's hard for us to watch them, the dashcam videos from other countries, because it all looks like a car crash on the other side of the road. Steve, yes, the Varia is compatible with Wahoo head units, yes. I've done a few videos on that. If you just search up Gplama Varia or Gplama Radar, you'll see all that. You can even customize the icon on Element head units. And funnily enough, when I was out with all the Elements testing the Rival the other day, I still had the Christmas tree and the reindeer on the Bolt and original Element. I'm out of breath. I'm talking too much. I think Cyclic need to come out with a Varia radar or an Ant Plus radar with their camera. That's a match made in heaven. Even if not to turn the camera on as a car goes past, it simply timestamp that location. Thinking 10 years down the track, there's no reason why we couldn't have GoPro style 4K with number plate recognition and logging on our bikes into such devices. That's way down the track though. But these are the things we need to be asking about or thinking about now for them to actually eventuate. Look, the Machine PM, if it does end up working, they'll be selling it. So you're going to get yourself a cheap power meter anyway. So it's up to them to deliver on the product that they're selling. It's as simple as that. Frames with a space for radar cameras integrated would be nice. Seat posts. Lots of unused space in a seat post. Except for those with Di2 batteries, but we can dangle those out a little bit. Oh, you like to look at the stream, thank you. We can go full screen. We can go phone focus. And drop some right-ons. Oh, all right. 4 minutes, come on. The Machine T100, close. Close to being good. The next question from there is availability. You're not going to get those in a lot of markets. T300, not sure. Chile, Scotland, welcome along. I was well when I started, not so much now, but I'm 17 minutes deep into this erg. Max heart rate, I think we saw around 190. I'm 42. So 220 minus your age. It's a ballpark, but I'm in a different ballpark. A lot of people are. Oh. Running track there over to the right. There's a few people getting their run on. $10K under 15, I believe that's pretty good. I think a 5K and under 14, 15 is good. What are you talking about riding? No idea. What do we judge ourselves on? Testers from the UK, what is it? It's a 10 miler, is it? That's the standard. I think my best 10 was 1945 or 1948 or something. It's a good course. I think I'll have to look it up to be sure. Oh, lots of noobs, let's give some ride-ons. There we go. Kick a snap, yep, good unit. Aging now, but hasn't been updated because it's still a good unit. Dad age. Oh man. Yeah, we need to factor in parenting to max heart rate. All right, the newbie Zwifters right there, starting their onboarding. All right, 60 seconds. Gplama is a misheard song lyric. Some kid was rocking out to headphones many years ago screaming God's Pet Llama. Well, I thought it was God's Pet Llama. And then I asked him what song he was singing and what God's Pet Llama meant. Was it a Dalai Lama thing? Was it a llama as in a llama llama? And he said, what? It was blah, blah, blah. Totally something else. So when we needed a unique username for something, shortened to Gplama. No one's got Gplama, except someone on TikTok. That ain't me, and I'm okay with that. What I'm not okay with is sprinting in 5 seconds. Oh. As I drop my chain. There's a 0 watt sprint. It's dead accurate, because that's all I'm doing. we're back. My chain's back on. I've been swapping cranksets over. I shouldn't be expecting things to go smooth. Oops. Now the question is, where do I put this? I could do it under the eyes like a rugby player. Accidental train. Oh, you got me. You got me. That was on purpose. We can make up for it though. Yeah, I've got that new Silka wax. I should have put that on. It wouldn't have been so dirty. That'll do. Peak power. We'll see how that goes. What was that, 1200? I've got a theory I need to test. And it requires me eyeballing too. No, we're good. No, we're good. 1300. Oh, nice. That was only very short. That didn't really count as a sprint. It goes up and straight down. To be a decent sprint, it needs to be up and sustained for at least 5 or 10. No, that was just a change up on the inside. I've switched over cranks for a couple. I haven't readjusted the Di2. It's just one little screw that I... Anyway. Elite Scuto. Actually, before we get to the overs and unders, we'll just re-zero those. I'll re-zeroing just the pedals. The NGECO should take care of itself. Whew. Those sprints don't hurt me straight away. It's like half an hour later that picks up on me. Where are my sensors? V3, calibrate, 0. What have I got? A minute 3 to get into the overs and unders. So we're into the fun stuff. 150, 350, 150. If you've seen my videos, you know exactly what they're about. We look for response time. We look for stability. And we look for me not complaining too much that I'm doing an erg session of my own free will. that I created. I won't pronounce that word, but I know exactly what you say. Lots of different saddles. I've got 3 different saddles that I use. If I'm on the one saddle all the time, yeah, it's not happy days. But I've got a few bikes. Very similar saddle, but just a little bit different. So just the pressure points just change just that little bit, enough to mix it up. Sunrace cassettes on kickers. Is that all markets? I think some get 105. Might depend what's available. All right, here we go. Overs and unders. This ain't so bad. Strava bringing back heart rate. Yeah, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Not many people picked up on what I said in the video. I thought it was a bit of a stab, but where I said it allows you to give them data that they can sell back to you as information. I thought that might have sparked a few people with, that's my data. But I think that's fair enough. If they're storing it, protecting that data, and then giving it to you in a more usable way, then they've got to be paid somehow. Using the phone as my bike computer yesterday. It's always a bit scary having the phone there. Just watching things fly off and break. Head units seem to bounce. Phones, not so much. Quad lock held up alright though. Mac Mini running Zwift. The M1. Don't know. I wouldn't expect too much out of a non-gaming system. The Apple TV does alright. If you're spending money and you want the best experience, it's always a PC with an NVIDIA card. Usually does better. Oof. Do I have to do that again? The M1 benchmarks, yeah. They blow everything out of the water. If only they come in 16-inch though. I can't justify a 13. Not enough screen real estate for 4K. I'll be interested to see if Zwift do a native M1 build if they're able to. Damn. Now we're done. We're done. Alrighty. So on the Garmin, you'll have the same graph as what you're seeing on screen there. I think it's only a 2-minute though. 1334 max on the NGCo. Rosetta being emulation, yeah. Whew. We're done. We are done. 1304 on the trainer, 1334 on the NGCo. That's pretty close, 1330, 1317 on the Vectors. What's that, all within 17 watts, 30 watts at 1300, yeah, it's not bad. Oh, those overs and unders got me. We had a heart rate drop out there, did we? I'll dive into that data. It's the wrist time. Did it do 0? Yeah, it did. I'll look at that in a minute. As we dive into this data. Whew. I am working harder than normal this morning, for sure. At least it's on the bike, though. I've been working hard for 3 days on other videos. I had a really cool intro to the Strava heart. Well, I thought it was cool. I can be the judge of that, can't I? Because no one saw it. Slim Shady. Guess who's back? Back again. And the intro to that song. And I had the Strava logo talking to the Bluetooth logo at the start and moving around. I spent ages on it. And I thought I'd only use a small snippet of the song, which you can do on YouTube. I'd happily pay for music licenses if we could do it easily. It's just such a complex process that I still don't know how to work out. So I had a snippet of about 8 seconds of that song for the intro. Back again. And then as soon as I upload, I got pinged. I upload before going live, so it does check it first. In cases like that. Ah, damn it. So to cut out 8 seconds of video and re-upload, there's another an hour 45 of work. Cycling is far better than editing. I tell you what, editing takes up too much of my cycling time. But cycling doesn't pay the bills. Well, unless I use this anyway, you know what I'm saying. And then on top of that, the content has to be interesting. So it's not about me being interesting. I struggle to be interesting. If companies make interesting products, my life is a lot easier. You just finished the chop, good stuff. How soon before I need a dedicated editor? I wouldn't trust a dedicated editor, Johnny, because the B-roll and the offcuts would somehow make their way to the internet, which would probably get more views than my main content. It's very similar to that of Dashcams Australia, as I was talking about. It'd be hard to do. And also, if I'm under NDA or embargo or anything like that, then you have to be in a... Yeah, it's... Security-wise, you'd have to know them pretty well and put them under decent contracts and have the other companies agree to that. It's... Hey, Diesel Dan's up the road. Right, Diesel. You're only sitting on 1.5-ish. Can we find Diesel? Oh, there we go. Okay, cool. So Diesel Dan, I can see on the mini-map there. Ha 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 ha! So, it told me the pace partner was this direction. That was pretty cool. So I'm going the opposite direction as the pace partner. But it still told me which way the pace partner was turning or how to get to the pace partner. So now if I do a U-turn, I'm on the pace partner. Follow Diesel down to earn drops. I wonder if that was by design. Or the fact that I was just riding in the same direction on the map that you see. Either way, but I've got steering on, so I'm kind of... Oh, he's only doing 1.5 anyway, so I can steer out of this. I can cause havoc in a bunch, can't I? Oh, who's this idiot? Max will be the dedicated editor. Oh, it would be handy. I really... How'd GCN do it with a presenter? If you were a presenter, and like if you had an auto cue and had things to read out and your job was done for the day, you could go home, that would be awesome. I guess there's pluses and minuses of that. But it is nice being in full control of absolutely everything, like start to finish, even the choice of content that goes up. Because if I don't find something really that interesting, it doesn't go up. I have purchased a lot of gear looking for interesting things that just like, oh, really? That didn't... Or things that... it's worse. Yeah, it would be, but... If I don't do a video for 2 or 3 days and YouTube starts syncing the channel, that's literally food on the table that I'm like, oh, if I had done this crappy video, I could... It's a weird YouTuber thing. I won't moan about it too much. And if you get the color grading wrong, oh. The machine video, I had the auto brightness on at a weird setting. I don't know how it got there, but I had to try and recolor grade. Every now and then, when I did a jump cut, I was ghostly white. I could have spent another 2 hours correcting it. Then I thought, chasing perfection, never going to happen. I'll never upload. So yeah, the comments have been pretty good. The comments have been good lately. I really enjoy the viewership and the discussion. Given most of my videos are product based or resource based, how tos and things like that, it's not really a lot of opinion, unless it's a commentary on the product. So not a lot of clickbait stuff or bait and switch or anything like that. Though yesterday I did bait and switch. I did. I told you I was going to cover Bluetooth heart rate strap, but I went for a ride and showed about a minute or two of that. And I walked out into an oval. That's not cycling. Had nothing to do with Strava. But I thought it was interesting though. I thought, how could I test the heart rate pairing to the app rather than just show it? What problems do I come up against? And that's typically when I move away from the recording device, the head unit or whatever, come back into range and it doesn't pick it up again. And I hate that. Or if I switch batteries or something like that and have to repair. So they were the 2 tests that I did yesterday. Beautiful day for riding a bike. If you saw yesterday's video, just fast forward to about a minute in or 2 minutes in. And you'll see some camels too. And the tailwind section, which I've spoken about already. So nice. So nice. I was on the other TCR with deep rims, latex tubes. The GP5000s. Hey, anybody, GP5000s. Anybody else running them? I'm going to do a follow-up on them soon. Didn't have much luck with the tubeless. I slashed the front. That was a me thing. That was just a it happens thing. The rear lasted about 4,500 Ks before it started delaminating. And then I switched over to exactly the same tyres, but in clincher. They have been brilliant. So I'm just wondering, the tyres have been out for 12 months or so. Have other people have the GP5000 clinchers and had good experience? You slashed too many sidewalls on Contis? Yeah, I'll be doing a close look at the sidewalls. Not a single puncture on these. They're starting to square off a little bit. Again, I'll get the camera in there and we'll have a look. I like them so much that I've gone and bought a set of 28s. So they were 25s. I'm not sure if 28s will fit on the TCR, but hey, we won't know if we don't try. Yep, cool, awesome. You're running them as well? They're brilliant. Inner tubes, latex, Vittoria or something latex tube. So yes, you do have to pump them up every ride. I also have some Pirelli tyres to put on this bike, which has a hybrid mix of something or other that I've put on from another bike. So I have an air compressor. Somebody told me to. Every real man has an air compressor. I don't agree with stereotypes of every real man. I think ladies can have air compressors too. Everyone needs to have an air compressor to do bottle rockets. So I've got one, which is going to help me for the tubeless tyres. Not only on that bike, my secret project bike, which is coming up soon. Max's tyres, okay. Certainly not as fast as the GP5000, noticeably grippier. Supple, yep. Schwalbe Pro 1, all day, every day, okay. So on this bike, well, obviously I don't have a rear wheel at the moment. Oh, it's obviously at the other side of the tyre, so I can't read it. Latex for training, come on, latex tyres. You've got to pump them up every ride, though. Wifey says hello. Hello, hardcore Mrs. Alpha. All right, just cooling down from this. We're an hour in. We've got the data. We're good. We have... What have you paired to? There we go. That's what I was after. Oh, I keep forgetting I've got steering. I could be raising hell in here. Come on. All the two riders in front of me are seeing is my little nameplate go across the bottom of the screen. GP4000s, yep. Ran those for many years. Are they squaring off on you though, Brendan? They square off? Or is it just an indoor trainer thing? Does Wahoo Powers max power effort? I don't get that, I'm sorry, I don't understand Powers max. Any hope Zwift will produce more proper fit files? Not being dated to 2016, having device IDs, etc. Rash, a very good question, and I think based on what we read today online about the requirements for the pro races on Zwift, that I think Zwift really need to do a number of things with their fit file and data recording to make the life of the esport racer a lot easier. The first one, they require dual recording, Zwift and something else. No need. Let Zwift pair a secondary power meter as a passive power meter, either Bluetooth or Ant Plus, record that in the same fit file. There we go, problem solved. Much easier for the end user. No need to have a Garmin synced up and downloaded and uploaded and put it in the same fit file. If there's any issues with duplicating two power meters in the one fit file, put it in a developer field. The fit files that I'm getting from my Garmin have car speed coming behind me. They have my body core temperature. You can use those developer fields. So Zwift need a secondary power meter, even if only just for the esports events. I think that would be brilliant. Recording device IDs, absolutely. Do those two things, roll that out for all users, and if people have two power meters, regardless of which one you use as your normal power meter, Zwift can collect an absolute load of data on trainers and power meters, grab the trends, and see let's say Zwift were going to get into hardware, which I think is on the cards, they'll be in a very good position to know what hardware to look at and how to solve other problems they may be coming up against themselves. Absolutely. The more data you record, the more you can do. If you're ignoring data, it's like you can't delete a photo you didn't take, so take all your photos. They're cheap. Same with this data. Fit file is on, I'm on a rant, don't worry, I keep first gear, second gear, third gear. Right, here we go. If you do not have the data, you can't throw it away. If you record the data, it's only a few kilobytes, really. In this day and age of megabit connections and gigabit connections, I guess, in some parts of the world, there's no need to be throwing away all that data that could be collected. Linking in flywheel speed from trainers that send flywheel speed. Again, it's irrelevant for in-game, but very, very useful for data analysis for esport verification and validation. A number of trainers have a working zone of accuracy that's never published, but we find them out. That's what one of the tests in the Lama Lab test is all about. Bringing that flywheel speed from very low to very high at the same set point erg. That does test erg. It also tests the ability for the trainer to measure correct power. If you're fourth gear on my rant, if you have all that data, you're in a much, much better position to judge whether a person is cheating or not cheating, or their equipment is out and they don't even know. I'm concerned with some of the news we saw today, not to go on too much about this one in particular, that people are being accused of cheating or manipulating data. If they're not doing that, and that ruins either a career, someone's mental health, someone's life at the extreme case, all of this shit's not worth it. I think it's risky territory for such harsh sanctions to be put down on the technology, not Zwift, the technology that we're using, the trainers, the power meters, the heart rate monitors, and all that. That needs to be really carefully locked down, ratified, certified, tested to no end, to be completely black and white with what's right and what's wrong. And then we can get into things like weight doping and height doping and the verification of that stuff. But when it comes to the actual equipment, my personal take is it's not there yet to be hanging so much on the line. And these days online, look at the bullying that takes place if someone's accused of cheating. There needs to be some systems in place. Again, not just Zwift. There's competitions happening across other platforms too. This is bigger than that. There needs to be, and I hope the UCI are getting, this is where the UCI are going. Mick Rogers is now part of the UCI. Mick Rogers, three-time world TT champ, Aussie, was behind a cycling platform. Before that closed down, he's now taking care of the esports or the e-cycling side of things at the UCI. These are the challenges that they're going to face, and I hope they enforce that kind of ruling. It's straight in line with everything else we see in real life racing and equality and fairness in sport. What we've got at the moment, what I see daily, what I've got lined up out here in the Lama Lab to come in and test, would I bet anything on it? Not yet. Not yet. The way to do it, standardise the equipment, so the world champs, all on the same trainer. That's a good step, for sure. But we need to collect that data. Sorry to go on the rant there. Sorry, I've missed it. I've dodged the comments altogether. I'm pretty passionate about that. I'm not sure I'm in a position to have any influence on that at a management level, from a technical level. Again, sowing the seeds of ideas. Hopefully. I just don't want to see someone bullied or a career broken inadvertently. If someone pairs the wrong pound, no. Oh, something else someone pointed out the other day. Did you notice there, I can't read the watts on that rider's screen. I think Zwift have blurred out, added a bit of user privacy. Oh, I'm with Diesel Dan. I'm going to get my multiplier upgrade in a moment. Yeah, my rants can be taken the wrong way entirely and have been today. So my comment over on Cycling Tips, I removed that. I don't have time to keep clarifying what I meant. So I've got work to do. And if I don't do that work, YouTube sinks the channel. That's the way things happen. It might get to a point again where I add these rants or discussions, I guess, if I can be more succinct in what I say rather than stumbling through my words after an erg session. Put them down in video maybe. Might be a better location to have them on discussion videos, but then it becomes the comment sections as well in those that have to be moderated quite hard. I don't know. Klaus, good question. Very good question. Let me have a drink and we'll get into that as I spin down. I do appreciate the comments and appreciate people sticking around listening to my rants. Again, I'm not always right. That's okay. But if we can have a conversation that enlightens me, others, and then at the end of the day, or tomorrow, or next year, we have a better system or systems in place, that's what it's about, moving forward. Okay, the way the Rival records sensors, very similar to that of the original Hammerhead Karoo, and very similar to Zwift. It'll just pair everything and have no device IDs. The yardstick, the actual standard for fit files and how things should be done, obviously the Garmin's. They do it right, very right. The Roam elements, bolts, do it as well. And if you pair a sensor, it pairs it as a device in the, someone probably knows, I haven't got my Fit File Explorer open, but it's all recorded, the ANT ID, manufacturer ID, what's paired, everything. And then when you analyze that with something like the DCR analyzer, it'll pull out the exact device you used. You can assign that a proper name and everything, and it just works. Something like the Hammerhead Karoo and the Rival at this point in time will bundle everything as just, it's me. It's the Rival power. It's the Rival heart rate. It's the Rival, well, it is the Rival heart rate, but for an external sensor, it would just be the Rival heart rate. So when you analyze it, you can't figure out exactly what it's paired to. When it comes to the power meter, I had 3 on the bike the other day, and the sensor, and this is why I didn't deep dive into it in the video, it's too much down the nerd hole, and they will probably change this in the near future anyway. At the moment, it puts up a hex ID rather than the ANT ID. So looking at this, you've got to do the conversion in your head, and I think it drops off a character, so you've got to do a conversion and an offset. No, I had 3 power meters on the bike, and I don't know what I was paired to. Typically, that's okay. You can jump in the fit file and say, okay, it's this one. It's not recorded. Even worse, it recorded a single-sided power meter, and I don't know which one. So I've got half power on one of my fit files from the Rival, and I can't debug it. That's a handball straight back to Wahoo. Early days in the Rival, though, as I said. Didn't want to dive too much into that. So from a riding point of view, from like at a high level usage point of view, it doesn't matter at this point in time. They will change that though, trust me. I'll keep on their backs. DI2 information would be handy too. The published decision, if that's regarding what was on Cycling Tips today, I do agree with that. I don't agree, even from a technical level, I don't agree with exactly. They went down to the specific file ID values that were manipulated and changing what they should have been. In my comment that's no longer there, because I can't be bothered dealing with the comments, I've got work to do, I said that's given people a recipe to check that tick box if they're going to cheat next time. A lot of people, certain people disagree with that. The disclosure of that, I'm not saying keep it confidential. I would say the manipulation of fit files, done. But when you get into the level, a technical level of saying they flipped this bit, it should have been this, and it was this, that's a great explanation. I don't need to know that, because now I can use that maliciously next time and pass that checkbox. I don't know. I get it. I get there's full disclosure, but there's, I don't know. How do we solve this? And I don't think just sanctioning people is going to be solving it. We need to get to a position where that can't happen. And the issue of supplying the wrong log files or manipulating the log files, how does an end user, how do they even have the ability to manipulate a log file? Well, we know it's saved in a text file, it's editable. Why can't, again, not just Zwift, I'm talking this is generic, this is everything, because something else may come along tomorrow. I think the standard should be that log files are encrypted within the system. Even this, if that's used for an esport event or something, so encrypted in the system and then sent up either in real time or straight after the activity. Don't give the user the ability to modify it with notepad.exe. That's, so rather than, well, we're not even putting out the flames of the fire, we're just closing our eyes and pretending there's no fire there. Put the fire out, easy. Well, easy, look at me, I'm not a programmer. I'm sorry to dump programmers into it. But I think there's a lot that could be done. Now I understand here's the flip side. It's a commercial world. It's not the cycling clubs that we all know and love run races because the people who run races love racing themselves. Maybe don't race anymore, so they're administrators. They put races on for us. Their goal is just simply to put on a good show. Anything online, it's commercially driven. So there's different motives for that. I'm not being an ass pointing out the obvious, but there is a difference. There is a difference. Why the ticker hack for Zwift running doesn't work anymore? I'm not sure, Stefan. King Wahoo on that. I've heard people saying you jog for a little bit and then it stops. Haven't tried with the Gen 2. The pace is up and down on the box. Diesel Dan's done. Is Diesel Dan moving at all? It's at 1.5 just. Ah, my finger's been cut off. I was going to present it to you on a plate. 1.5, I think it's staying. Not really enough for a cool down though. All right, we'll get to 40Ks and we'll call it a day. The faster pace bots are so good. I really enjoyed Amelia Uncatil the other week, which I think 300 average for 30 minutes or so. What's happening with clubs on Zwift, do you think? Look, mate, I'm hanging for the clubs. So clubs, no idea. I believe clubs, the functionality is being used by, no, I don't have access to clubs. I'm a member of a few clubs, but no access as an admin or anything further. I believe they're using the club framework at the moment for people to modify their existing events that are on the public calendar. I would love to see clubs come along. My idea, again, just some future think of where I want to take things if it enables us to do that. Spin up a Gplama Zwift club, have everyone come along and join if they want, and if I can send out tweets, YouTube comments or updates of, hey, we're going to run this right at this night, you know, join if you want, just like anything on the public calendar, but make it just for the club members. In theory, it sounds great. We could have our own little races or anything. That's what I'd like to see clubs used for. And I think it's a case of empowering real life cycling clubs to do, as they are at the moment with meetups and things, doing their own events, but do it autonomously. That'd be huge. Charlie, you're in, member number 1. Actually, I'm member number 1. What are you talking about? You're at least number 4, because we're going to have Max and Von. Where do we put Ray? Ray and Des have to go in there somewhere. They'll be single digits. But yeah, but Zwift has changed. Zwift was a startup, taking in ideas from the community, really soaking up a lot of the community. I mean, racing started in the community. Oh, by the way, the heart rate's still working for the rival too. But they've changed. They've changed a lot, and that's just business. I mean, they've gone from. Remember Jarvis? We used to at 7 o'clock. We started the race at the big tree, and we all had to sync our times on our clocks. And then someone would say go, and then we'd race. That was the race. Now they're $1 billion company. It's changed a lot. So anyway, and I've said it before, I still think Zwift is in the best position it's ever been in, feature set wise, worlds, compatibility across platforms. I think people just want a lot more though. Their appetite is becoming a lot greater and greater for more worlds and more roads. You give someone $1, they'll ask for another $1. You give them 10, they'll want 20. I think that's where we're at. Fix this Saris H3 knocking noise. No. Jump over to the Trainer Road forums. There's a big thread on the H3 there. I'm not saying there's going to be a solution there, but there'll be people with the same problem. You dive into that, so forums.trainerroad.com. Good little resource. Even if you're not a Trainer Road user, that is a resource for just indoor cycling and general advice. Trainer Road, their podcast as well. It's not about Trainer Road, the product, though it's all the product people. Yeah, good advice, good community. Verve Info Crank. Never had one on the bike. I believe developed in conjunction with the AIS to get them away from SRMs, I think it was back in the day. But Tobin just nailed it. They're on the Praxis cranks, which I won't hold it too much against them. I believe Amp Plus only though at the moment, which is really limiting them for, I guess, a wider market which now wants just Bluetooth, Apple TV, plug and play. Oh, I can't steer because there we go. Julian Washington Brigg, JWB, you'll see the... there. Oh, you just missed it, JWB. Julian was an original Zwifter. If you don't know what that plaque means, I've done a video about this a while ago, but if nobody noticed that. Julian was... I don't know where Julian's from. New York? She's got to be from New York somewhere. Your non-stereotypical Zwifter. Simple, that's all I'll say. But man, she rode a lot, and she was on there. She was part of the Zwift community early on. Super positive. I think she was riding 100k rides. I'm not sure if she rides too much anymore. But the coolest thing is that... Oh, she would have been from Ohio. Had to have been. Every beta tester was from Ohio. But they've named that bridge after her. There's a plaque on there. That's cool. So while we bitch and moan about fit files not having the right data, they still need data. There's still some pretty cool things in game. Alright, we'll go back into this. Did I say 40k's and call it a day? Standard me. Dragging it out. Samuel, you are at least member 35. Alright, 35. See, if we had race numbers on your back, club members could be assigned race numbers, and it's the same race numbers you get next time. So if we continue to do races rather than look for name tags and things, 35. That guy's going down. 37 done. Okay. See, we've got all the great ideas. We just don't have the resources to program. Zwift does have break numbers though. They rolled that out at the they had it on the virtual Tour de France, I believe. With the Fitfile podcast return in 2021, I'm not sure, Jeremy. I'm not sure. That took a lot of editing, a lot, to get rid of that. If we can streamline that, the production of it, anything's possible. It's heaps of fun catching up with Ray. Though, the thing about those Fitfile podcasts, the recording, which goes for say an hour, I think the phone calls took 3. We just shot the breeze for the first half hour to an hour, recorded, and then shot the breeze again for the next. It's just, that's probably one of the downsides. And that's an us thing. There's a lot of time in that though, to make it sound as good as we wanted it to sound. You never know, you never know. Charlie Brown, number 13. Upside down. Has to be upside down. What's hoping to expand more than new worlds? How about we'll meet you in the middle, Normie? How about we get Watopia to expand new roads that meet those other worlds, meet the existing worlds. Like if we could go on a bridge out here to Richmond, and Richmond was placed on another island, but you had to ride 2 or 3 kilometers to get there. Or if France, I mean, it's virtual, we can do anything. France was just off. I think have one big San Andreas world. That'd be cool. All right, right on time, let's do it. And I'll call it a day. Good chat, people, good chat. Thanks for coming along. These Fitfiles, if I'm doing one of these Lama Lab tests by myself during the day, sometime I just get it on and get it done. I've got 45 minutes to line up and done. These ones I load up and go, what was I doing for half an hour? Why have I got, and I have tons of data either side. It doesn't matter, we can zoom in, but it's kind of funny. Good data though. London to Yorkshire, there we go. You'd meet me there, okay. We can. Well, you can have spawn points and everything. Any mountain bikers viewing? What would you think about a mountain bike conversion of one of the smart bikes? Say the Stages bike. If you were to put some mountain bike bars on that just for a bit of fun. What do we think? We'd have to do the mountain biking on Zwift though. No reason why we can't do that. I've got the additional shifters. We could make up some mountain bike shifters. Or maybe they have some. We'll see. There might be a bit of a market for that. Flat bars. Microsoft Flight Sim. 44Ks. Of course we're going to do 44Ks, just to round it off. Develop a field for ride-ons. There we go. Ah, bloody great ideas. Actually, the ride-ons are in the log file anyway. Though I'm preaching to the converted here. Or to the choir, so to speak. Rashi, you're all over this. This is your forked code, remember? I think the really cool thing, you saw my tweet the other day when I was buzzed by that car and it recorded the intervals from the Varia radar on the head unit, and I've got recorded the car speed. Yeah, that data, what could be done with that data? You had enough of it. Very cool. But yeah, things like ride-ons per kilometre. You know, they don't really do anything, they ride-ons. Oh, they give you drops, they give you more drops. I was going to say you don't want to farm them too much. But anyway. Mountain bike on Zwift is a success. The steering, I keep forgetting I've got the steering on at the moment. It's fun when you focus on that. I'm focusing on the chat, which is over this side of the screen. I think there's a lot of potential for the mountain bike stuff on Zwift. If we link two roads, say on France, there's tons of little dirt roads. Just adventure. I think people are looking for that outdoors. So why not give it to them indoors too? Okay, that'd be cool. But they don't want people steering onto the runner's course. That'll cause all havoc, I'm sure. All right. Done deal. I don't think I missed any questions. If I did, I apologise. Always put them in the video below. I keep an eye on everything coming through. Oh, Diesel Dan, nice to see you, mate. Took your time. Have a ride on. But there we go. The rival is done. Hey, there we go, rival. That worked quite well. There was one little dip that I'll dive into. We'll see what happened there. That was, I think, just after the sprint or something. 44.1, now I've got to do 45. If I get to 45, I'm going to have to do 160. I mean, round it off with a century. I'll call it quits there. But thanks for coming along, everyone. What's coming up? We've got Friday tomorrow. There's some changelogs I need to go through. Don't tell me changelogs are boring. I absolutely love a changelog. But I've got to dive into them and make them interesting. All right, stay tuned for that. We'll see you tomorrow.